Welcome back. Now, for more perspective on the PIB, we talked to Mr. George Etomi. He's the pioneer chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on business law. Mr. Etomi has extensive experience in commercial transactions and has worked with local and international clients in matters of aviation, banking and finance, energy and natural resources, to mention a few. He's a member of the Center for Petroleum Law Research and has worked over the years with numerous multinational companies, oftentimes serving as a mediator and champion for the cause and the rights of the people of the oil-producing states. In this interview, Mr. Etomi gives more depth to our discussion on the PIB.
A legislation of such monumental importance, it should never have been left to last-minute rush. For what we are told, if we believe the report, there were only 46 members present, 47 members present when it was passed out of a house of close to 360. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if that signifies the importance they attach to it. But if you recall, years and years and years of discussions about the importance of the PIB, I think passing it in the fashion that it was done is, to say the least, very cavalier, and it's very disappointing for a legislation that should redefine the way we treat the oil and gas industry. So much is happening in industry globally, and we tend to be so myopic about the issues that are important. As you can see, from when we started the discussions, oil attained a peak of $140 per barrel, and we now see it's struggling at 60. What that portends for us is massive reduction in oil revenues. How are we going to deal with it? What about the uncertainties about the industry itself? If you don't have a legislation as composite as the PIB is intended to be, to reshape the industry, how do you get investors? My big fear, though, is that the things that didn't make them pass the bill in the first place, they had enough time to consider them. Many of them do not, in my opinion, go to the heart of the change that that bill was supposed to bring to the industry. It was meant to be an incentive for more investments. Today we don't have those investments. As a result, our reserves are dwindling. They're not being enhanced. Two, we don't have the benefit of new technology. And we see what new technology is doing to the entire industry. The whole fracking that broke the back of oil prices through shale oil was a function of technology. And even with oil prices depressed, they are working improvements in the technology to make fracking even easier and cheaper, and all that, so that they can match whatever trends there are. Global consumption is depressed because there's a general depression and all that. So there's so much good in the bill. But what we're focused here has been sharing. I don't know why we keep this issue of sharing. Oh, what will the host communities take? What will be the non-host communities take out of this? What will the minister's powers be? What will the minister's power not be? Anyway, I made it abundantly clear. The minister, no minister should be made as powerful as the petroleum minister. It's a big mistake in any system. The minister of petroleum should not be different from the role the minister of communications play in the telecoms industry and what the minister of power will be playing in the privatized power industry, i.e. it should be limited to policy and let professionals actually run the business. That's been the bane, and that's why there's been so much corruption in the oil and gas industry. We just really need to rejig that. That should not even be open to debate. But then the other issues about host communities or no host communities, it's when you have something that you can be thinking about sharing. But when you want to share poverty, as it were, it just makes very little sense. And that's my disappointment with the fact that we kept such an important bill for nearly, it's survived, it's gone past 8 years of the year back and forth.
You talked about technology and investment. What can the country do now to get the benefits of that?
You see, you can't have it because the people who are driving development in industry are your oil majors. And they will invest when there is certainty that they will get return for their investments. Now, prior to the PIB, this has gone on because there were so many pockets of legislations, executive orders, different things that were ruling or governing the oil and gas industry. And we said, no, we seek to consolidate that in one bill, just like you have CAMA, the corporate companies and yes, governing activity. You have the ESPRA doing the same thing for the power industry. So the idea is good, but not doing it means the guys are not sure whether to bring in this investment. And that's why I'm so worried. I doubt if there's any rig working now in Nigeria. There's a lot of offshore investments that the concentration is on offshore investments. There are no rules clearly guiding those. So those investments which bring about technological innovations to make, because the cheaper you produce oil, the cheaper you can get to the market. But if you use antiquated technology for it, it becomes more expensive, your oil becomes more expensive, and in the face of competing, remember we now have neighbors, almost through the entire West Coast, who were not with us before, they're discovering oil. And these same companies are the ones in the forefront. These same companies are in the forefront of the shale revolution. These same companies are looking at developments in the Gulf. It's the same people who are doing it. Now, what are those people doing right that's still attracting these oil majors that we are not doing? We should not allow internal bickering affect what is our long-term national interest. In fact, we should be moving away from over-dependence on oil so that oil just becomes another commodity. If, as we can see from the major producers in the Middle East, that even they are looking at life beyond oil, well, who are we not to do the same thing? We've been sounding this warning a long time ago. If you recall, at the 30th anniversary of our law firm, that was the topic, life beyond oil, after oil. So what do we do with it? But you still need, I'm not saying you don't need the revenue from oil, but it should be a catalyst to develop other sectors of the economy. But if we're still bickering over who gets what, who doesn't get what, the emphasis is too much on sharing as opposed to making it a catalyst for development that it should be. That's the bigger concern. And I think our chosen representatives, the ones we freely elected, should begin to rise above mundane, narrow ethnic considerations and think more like statesmen and think more globally. Now that there is a new government, there's a chance for change. At least that is the hope. So hopefully they will all get on the change bandwagon and then begin to do things differently. Otherwise, we're going to be in really rough waters.